where the USS Midway Museum is celebrating its 20th anniversary.
Years ago, it opened for the first day of business, bringing out excited spectators ready to see what life...
People say, isn't that a great job? Well done, all you founders, you stuck with it. But when you think about it for a moment, it took us 3 times as long to get Midway to San Diego as it took America to wage and win World War II.
An entrepreneur named Alan UK had this vision to have a Navy ship in San Diego as a symbol for everyone who has served to protect our freedom. He was passionate, his heart was in it. I called a buddy of mine, Scott McGaugh, and said, we have to listen to this guy and see what he's talking about.
We're damn proud of being a Navy town, and yet we did not have any kind of tribute, museum, memorial. It just made an enormous amount of sense if we could get the ship and find the location.
I was sent here to be the naval base commander. And the very first day, I was hounded by Admiral Riley Nixon and Alan UK, who were the fathers of the Midway. They told me about this crazy idea about bringing Midway to San Diego. I had talked to my boss, who was the commander-in-chief of the Pacific Fleet. He bought into it. That got me excited.
The Navy said, yes, you can have Midway. You've got 3 months to get her out of Bremerton, Washington. And then we were on the clock for 5-6 months to get her open.
We refurbished 6 airplanes before the ship ever got here, not knowing if it was ever going to show up.
Worked over at North Island helping to restore airplanes, basically chipping paint. I didn't really know how to fix airplanes, but I'd been in the Navy 6 years. I know how to chip paint.
We pulled it into the berth. There were hundreds of thousands of people along the pier, and we hadn't done anything but brought the ship down. We had worked 12 long years to get the ship here. Half of us were crying, half of us were shouting, we were all singing.
It looked beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Reporters were not supposed to take sides either way, but you know what? I just kind of felt, wow, they really did a great job here.
A small group of crazy people decided they wanted to start an aircraft carrier museum here in San Diego. They hired the amazing Mac McLaughlin, my predecessor, and they made it happen.
The most important thing that we decided was to concentrate on how we could turn this into something that really was a part of San Diego's past and can become a part of San Diego's future, make it an asset to the city.
When the ship finally ported here, I think everybody in San Diego was almost in awe of what happened. I think it made everybody feel much closer to the military and all the people who had done so much for freedom in San Diego.
I never knew from one day to the next what the day was going to hold, whether it was a call from American Idol producers or a movie crew or the Harlem Globetrotters or a family in Boone, Iowa. It was always a surprise.
I have held events all over the globe. Few destinations have what we have to offer.
We were profitable the first month. In our 20th year, we're going to reach the 20 million visitor mark. The secret sauce to our success has been our volunteers, and certainly the docent corps, more than 400 of them.
I can come to the world's best elder daycare here on the Midway. Keeps me and the rest of the docents kind of out of trouble. We have every kind of specialty that you need to run a small city.
What we like to say is that we bring the ship to life.
All of our volunteers, they are so, just like on an active carrier, they're committed to the mission, they're committed to the guest experience, and they make Midway come alive every day.
When I step on board the Midway every day, I am most proud of the work in our education department. You see the smiles on kids' faces. You see their parents excited that their kids are learning. The vision moving forward is growth. It's to touch every child in America, from second grade all the way through college and maybe even beyond. From day one, the Midway Magic has been here.
We spent a lot of time over the last 20 years restoring historic spaces on the ship. And now we're going to blend that with actual museum exhibitry and techniques and new technologies that we think are going to really bring more ship stories to life to a modern audience, and that will a model for us moving forward as we grow as a museum.
3, 2, 1.
The big aspect going forward is Freedom Park. It truly is going to be a new dimension to San Diego, a new attraction to the waterfront.
It'll be the only veterans park in the city of San Diego and the largest on the West Coast. It's going to be such a gift to our veterans and our future generations and our Midway guests and people all over the world.
When we started out, we really didn't see ourselves as an international phenomenon. And yet this little old ship here in San Diego Harbor has become the most visited historic ship in the world. And it's allowed us to tell our story to more and more people.
It's always good to tell people, come back next year. You'll see something that you haven't seen yet.
There's nothing in my professional life that has been remotely as rewarding as being part of this Midway family, this Midway evolution.
The culture is teamwork, it's responsibility, it is passion, it's honor. Everyone is excited to be here.
I have been on the Midway for 20 years plus, and I have seen the Midway evolve like in a cocoon and turn into a beautiful butterfly. She was Cinderella in my mind, and she became a princess.
It took us 12 years to get her here, so that's 12 plus 20. It makes me emotional to walk on this ship for so many reasons.
Every time I come aboard, I just well up with pride to have been a very small part of making this all happen. So it's being part of a family.
Every single day, I come to work with a sense of awe and wonder at this aircraft carrier and this museum. It's such an important part of San Diego.